Yo, good morning, good evening, oh my god, I will never be able to say it properly. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. I'm your host, Duj. So, take your seats, lesson is starting. Today we're gonna see a recap of everything we studied this week. So, before we start, I'm just gonna see if the chat is working properly. Yo, okay, yes, it's working properly. So, what I wanted to do before starting the lesson, or at, what I mean is what I want to show you before starting the lesson. Just give me a second because I need to open it first. Okay, for some reason there was Warhammer. It's not Warhammer that what I want to show you. Um, So let's change to screencasting, not right here. So we're gonna change the screencast to the browser. Alright. And here we are. Uh, so basically, Utran Hill was introduced in the projects no AI list with all the projects that refuse to use AI for the project. Uh, and basically, I was added. Nice. This is nice also because it's a good, how do I say, way to keep myself accountable even more because now my declaration is outside my own space, so outside my own social. Now it's on other people's website, so it's good. It's good. So if something happens, I will receive the backlash that I deserve. And yeah, this is one of the things. So, apart from that, another thing that I needed to check was what was the last chapter that we went together, basically. So, first week recap, where are you? First week recap. I shut up. We arrived at, I think now we have a chapter 11 to do. Pretty please, Durj. Yes, I think we are in the chapter 11. Yes, yes. So, let's close this, change screencast another time, and we can start with a lesson. Yeah, lesson, because I'm a professor. Not at all, to be honest. This is gonna be just a review of my notes to see if I remember everything, and also to give I don't know, a different opinion, maybe. It depends. Maybe, or maybe explaining better what I see from these notes or what I understand from these notes. As I said, of course, these notes are the ones that I wrote down because they are what are relevant to me the most. So a lot of stuff won't be here because or I already know about it or I'm not really interested in. Like, for example, if I open the to-do list that I'm writing every day, well, not every day, but every working day. I don't know if it's the right, yeah, something like every working day. Even though, well, I consider this work. Maybe other people will not. So I will censor the previous because the previous to-do list is everything about lore and I don't want to spoil it. So let's change the screencast. To-do list. So we basically went through all of these. That's okay. The only exception that I skipped because they were not really relevant to me and I want to move fast before the deadline that I have. So chapter 14 was the multiplayer. I don't think I will do any multiplaying in for the game. Maybe in the future I will get this chapter back and wrote something down, but for now it's not really relevant. Same thing for VRR, XR, and beyond. Those arguments are not really relevant because the game that I want to make are not VR games. So multiplayer VR, I cannot skip them. You can count this as cheating or not. You're gonna decide, but for me, I'm not really interested, so I need to hurry up before the deadline. But for the rest, I took all the notes that I need. And today we're gonna review them to see if I remember them, if I am able to explain them in an easy way. So yeah, let's just see. Let's change back to the notes. Fuck. Fuck. They all want you dead. This chapter was, I think, about enemy design. As always, all the enemy designs follow the form follow function, so you need to design them to make the player understand what they are going to do. If you're gonna do like a speed character, you must find a way to understand with the symbolism, like I don't know, lightings that the character or the enemy is fast. If the enemy is like chunky, it's gonna get no, it's gonna basically attack you with heavy punches. That will be his size. That it will specify it. I don't know, and so on and so forth. These are basically the attributes. Now, the sizing of the enemy can be different. There are short enemy that usually are half of the size of the protagonist. Now, you can go even shorter, but if you're designing a game, it's kind of hard to have like short character that it's better to leave most of them like half the size of the main character. There is the average, that is the size of the main character. There is the large, that is basically something in between average and huge. Huge is double size of the character, the protagonist. Gigantic, this can be all the categories that are beyond huge, so it can be a dragon, a titan, so on. Behavior. You have to ask some question when you design an enemy. How does the enemy move? What does the enemy do when it's in combat? What does the enemy do when hurt? So, with these three questions, you can basically design a first blueprint for an enemy. Understanding, of course, if the game is something different, like a turn-based game like mine, it will differ how the enemy moves, like it differs from an action game. Like how an enemy moves in a turn-based game is different from an action game. This is basically. Oh, what happened? What does the enemy do when in combat? You have to decide how it will behave. Let's take a coward enemy. A coward enemy, when combat starts, it will try to, I don't know, attack you from the back or something like this. I don't know. But just to give you an idea. And what the enemy does when hurt, probably this is about animation and giving character. Most of these behaviors are like giving character to enemies, so making them feel like they are somehow real and they are being in this world, in the game world. They are different that Scott Rogers suggests. There is the patroller who moves back and forth, up and down in a mechanical fashion. Usually they do this to detect the player. There is the chaser who pursues the player and approach if approached or some other condition is met. Basically, these little fuckers will try to bite your ass. There is the shooter, that is an enemy that fires projectiles. Usually they are kinda less mobile because they have the range. There is the guard, is an enemy whose AI priority is to guard an item location rather than just actively pursue the player. There is the flyer, is an enemy that flies, as I wrote. Basically, the flyers will just because they fly. Maybe, I don't know, you pissed off the bird will start attacking you. That is a flyer enemy. There is the bomber. Is a flyer that attacks from above. So basically, instead of a physical attack, the bombers just stay on top and throw bombs at you. It can be something else. It can be, I don't know, crossbows or everything else that doesn't require a contact with directly with the player. There is a burrower. Is an enemy with an invulnerable stat that allows them to get into advantageous position to attack the player. So, I don't know, let's say that you cannot hurt him with the physical attacks. The only way is with magic or distance attacks from distance. Yeah, range attacks, sorry. Okay, then there is the teleporter. Is an enemy that can change position around the playfield. That is to give the enemy some advantage to the player. From the player, sorry. A blocker is an enemy that defend themselves against the player attacks with a shield or defensive device. And the doppelganger is an enemy that looks like the player. You can have a different combination of these characters together to give somehow a challenge to the player. Like here, there is an example to pairing the enemy, the teleporter and the shield guy. This was just an example of mine. Or I don't know. Let's see what else can work good together. Maybe the guard and the chaser. Like the guard keep the treasure, like keep guarding the treasure, and the chaser start let you run around the map. Or maybe the chaser and the shooter. You can do every different combination to give some player a challenge. The more of these there are in the combination, the more difficult it will be. So you have to precisely put them in places where they belong and levels. How rapid is rapid? Speed and movement type. There are the stationary, the slow, medium, fast, and quick. A slow enemy usually work best in group. We have the zombie example, to be honest. I used the snails, but the zombie is the better example. Medium speed is just what it sounds like. The speed of the enemy movement and attack will likely match the player's own speed. Fast enemy either darts forward to quick strike and back away, or to move quickly around and jump into do multiple attacks. Quick enemy move in burst. They can move blindly, fast, or even teleport around the battlefield. So these usually are kind of the speeds. Again, you will find this kind of movement in action games, so where movement is interlocked with attacks, the fight. So movement and fighting are like a dance, so they are together. If you're making a a turn-based like me, movement will be something else. It will be probably something more evasive to like three squares behind to move, or on the left, on the right, or behind the enemy. So it depends. This is mostly for action game, I would probably say. And now a series of questions, because from how do I say? Like I always say, I think the best things are questions instead of just answers. The more questions you have, the more you can think about how do you want your characters to behave, or enemies, or bosses, so on and so forth, the object items. It's better to have the question than just the direct answers. So, does your enemy charge the player like an angry bull? Do they zigzag erratic, erratically to avoid? Okay, yeah, sorry. Frenetically, I think I would. Erratically, I don't know. To avoid zigzag. Uh, to avoid taking fire. Do they make a beeline and then retreat? Do they jump from cover to cover? Do they crawl on the walls to ambush the player from above? Do they run away to never fight at all? How mobile are your enemies? Do they have more than one movement speed? Can they break into a run or a slide to stop? Do they leap over obstacles or use doors? This is the worst one. If they use doors, it's over. Usually doors are what keep you safe in some games. Like, I don't know, Resident Evil 4 with Mr. X. It's pretty like crazy when he breaks the door and inside the checkpoint room. How aggressive are your enemies? Fast moving, front, fronting, fronting, uh, crossing the seg, or slowly advance. Oh god, advancing stone cold killer. Enemies can even be cautious or cowardly, afraid to get hurt or die. Giving enemies a sense of self-preservation make them feel like real people. How much like the team player are your enemies? Do your enemies raise the alarm and alert other enemies to assist them? Will they try to keep a player pinned down while others close in for a melee attack or better shot? Will they try to flush a player into the open where another enemy will have the advantage? Will one grab and grapple the player while other attacks? Do they have a partner like a guard dog or attack drone? How defensive are your enemies? Do they crouch or duck behind objects? Do they cover or hold the line? Do they act stealthy with the spot when they spot a player? Do they try to attack from behind and sneak up on a player? Do they have a defensive item like shield or defense system? How versatile are your enemies? Can they pick up and drop weapons or health? Do they drive vehicles or weapon or man? Okay. Oh. Oh my God! What the problem when the fact that I cannot write correctly is when I review and I don't know what I meant with this word. Do they drive vehicles or men? Enemies? If I don't know. Let's just skip that. Can we take over function other enemies if they are killed? Can they fly or use non-ground based movement? What the hell? What are these notes, man? No, not sale. So, so bring on the bad guys. I think yes, is enemy introduction. A really effective way to tell the player they are encountering something new. Because when you probably encounter something that you already seen, there will not be like the small cinematic of the player like breaking the ground like a skeleton. So, the exciting and danger. Freeze the camera or zoom in the creature. Display the name of the enemy on screen. Foreshadowing what will happen. Resident Evil 2 provides a great what the heck was that moment when a leaker enemy runs past a window right before the player encounters it. Okay, introduce your enemy in a very dramatic way. For some reason, I'm thinking about Skylanders, not Resident Evil 2. Spawning enemies into the world is just as important removing them. You just want to make sure that players aren't able to slaughter the enemies before they get a chance to arrive on the scene. Okay, yeah, makes sense. Basically, you are not supposed to spawn kill the enemies. Makes sense. Yeah, by the way, I think Skylanders is one of the it was a good series, Skylander, like the first ones. Then there was the Cars one that I didn't like. I was a kid, so yeah. And also I wasn't really into cars. I'm still not into cars really. Another tips like when you find these all caps words, sentences, paragraphs, is because they are the important ones. Fighting enemy is supposed to be fun. Enemies should be fought, not avoided. Most of the notes that I'm taking are not, maybe you already know about them, but sometimes when you see them together, it's almost like to give the game developer the right mindset to have when developing a game. Like fighting enemy is supposed to be fun. Even Dark Souls or Elden Ring, even if the enemies are hard, they are kind of fun to fight. When you like unlock something new, like a weapon that you like. For example, how was the weapon of Elden Ring that I like to use? Some of you may say that it's like a cheesy tactics, but Elden Ring arcane weapon. And a weapon that I really like to use in Elden Ring, for example. The Executioner Sword, so Maria's Execution Sword. Basically, this sword, when you press the special attack, it goes like like I don't know. It goes like magically into the enemy and pierces the enemies, and it's really fun. So fighting enemies is supposed to be fun, even if you are developing a game with really hard mechanics, hard when you need the skill to complete stuff. So remember that the players must have fun playing the game, not like suffering, and that's it. Even if the game is about suffering, don't make the player suffering. That's the idea. Like it's okay to be hard, but it have to be hard in a way that it's the player fault to not have developed the skills, not the game fault. Because it is fair if an error was an error because you made a mistake. But if the games is unfair, it's the game's fault, and the players will probably not play again the game. That's the idea. Enemies should be fought, not avoided. This, of course, will depend. If you like have to go through the road 10 times, you don't really want to fight the enemy 10 times. You want to say, okay, look, that's it. I just wanna pass and move. Please move away. So it depends. Why fight enemies? They have the loot, they block the path, they have something you want. You need to take their power. They making fun of you. It's fun to fight. I like. These are good reasons to fight an enemy. Some enemy attacks will have probably melee attacks, weapon attacks that may be like weapons, like swords or guns. Or, no, sorry, it's the next one. So we are talking weapons like physical, so still sword. Some projectile combats, these are the guns or maybe arrows. The status affliction, this here is, for example, a pig with the poison tongue. If the pig licks you, you will probably get poisoned. This is the idea. Telegraph the attack for the player. Cooking a fist back to... Cocking. I don't know if it's the right word. Cocking a fist back to punch. Growling or yelling before swinging a weapon or charging. Providing moving parts. Sorry, I'm gonna change parts of the anatomy before attacking. The weapon's laser sign acquiring a target before firing. A weapon or spell charging up before the firing. So, when you fight an enemy or most likely a boss, it's like a dance. You have to learn the moves. If you don't learn the moves, you will probably make the wrong decision while fighting the boss or the enemy. Now, this in-action game can be pretty random as movements to be learned. If I have to think about turn-based games, I don't think the boss or the enemy can do the ultimate attack every single time. Like, you cannot just put the, okay, here's a random attacks, choose between this array which attack you're gonna do. You cannot do that. Even in a turn-based game, you should like give a sense of dancing of the enemy. Like, I don't know, maybe the same one for the player. If the player has enough mana to cast the spell, they should be able to do it. Same for the enemy. If the enemy had gathered enough energy to cast the spell, they should have like a what if scenario. Okay, Should I cast this spell? What does this spell do? Do this spell heal me? Yes. Or maybe I am less than half of my life. Yes. Then use the spell. No. Then I can use it to fight the player. Yes. Then use the spell that damage the player. This is kind of the sense. You have to have a system that is kind of random, but also not. It's a dance, as I was saying, a dance between randomness and rules to give to make it a dance. I don't have a better words for it. It's basically a dance. Fighting itself is a dance. And if you fight an enemies in a game, you should expect to predict the next move somehow. If it wasn't the one that you predicted, okay, it's kind of a challenge for a player. If you predicted the move, the player will have the aha, I knew it moment, you know. This is what years no, I don't know if saying years is right, but this is what my experience with playing games and also studying the game design drive me to. I don't know. So let's move. Brief the players without damaging them. Sometimes the enemy can block or parry, can knock back the player, can stun the player, can give status effects, can repair or healing themselves. This one is the most hated between players, but it's the most fun to see. Like, oh my god, yeah, I beat it. No, why the bar is regenerating? Then there is the buff, the steal, the leech. Leech is basically the enemy taking life from the player or gathering resources like mana maybe to cast a good spell. Perform unexpected behaviors like, I don't know, okay, the enemy is going to lose. Yay, I'm winning! Then the enemy just launches to the air and make a slam dunk like Michael Jordan, I don't know. Show resistances. Probably at a certain point it can just change, I don't know, element, and it will be like, okay, now I'm ice. Have you any spell to damage me? No? Oh well, suck it. There is also the taunt, joking about the player can. Sorry. Well, yeah, taunt. You basically taunt the player to make them mad. I love designing enemies. Think to consider while designing an enemy. Start with a theme, or start with a story. Tie the game antagonist and their minion together. This one is one of my favorites because it's what I'm trying to do with the enemies or the bosses on the game. Be smart with the reuse an enemies and textures. Decide where the enemy belongs to your world. Make the enemy look like an enemy, or go against expectation and type. But remember to make the player hate the enemies. I don't know if hate the enemies is the right word, but also yes, in my case, yes. It's more like, okay, the enemy is in my path. To achieve my goal, I should destroy the enemy. Nothing personal, but I want to win. So it's not really hating, but if you make the player hate the enemy, it's probably also that the player will remember that enemy. Non-enemy enemies. There are different types. There is the Gremlin. This character looks like an enemy but doesn't directly engage with the player. They can be like minions that, I don't know, create traps for the player to fall. There is the Tormentor. This type of enemy challenges and taunts the player through the course of the game, but never directly confronts or attack them. This can be probably the final boss, like you will see probably the final boss in all the enemies, it usually happens, and the boss is like, ah, damn you, and then farts, I don't know. Time and pressure make people think something is a lot more complicated than it really is. This I think amplifies a lot with puzzles. If in a puzzle you have a timer, And if the game is not about puzzles, but it happens that it has a minigame about puzzles, this will probably stress out the players like, oh my god, the timer, the puzzle, what is the solution? This is a pretty much psychological thing to give your players. Human competitor. Player versus player, competitive games. Okay, this is basically okay, let's avoid enemies and let players compete with each other. I think they, even though enemy player is still considered an enemy, so I don't know if this is right. How to create the world best greatest boss battle. A boss battle should like be a way to see a challenge to the player's skills, a skill cap to see if the player learned about all the mechanics correctly. So all the learned moves should be like challenged by the boss. Or maybe it's something fun, like giving inside a boss fight a new weapon to try against the boss. This is also fine and fun, I think. Like, oh god, there is this giant robot, but two levels below the giant robot, there was a weapon, like an electric weapon that you can use to overload the robot. That is something nice to do. It's a different thing, I would say. Combination it usually like avoided, or like try one or the other one, or you challenge the player with the skills they acquired until now, or you add a new weapon or a new gimmick to make the boss fight unique. Between these two, a combination is kind of complicated, and usually you would avoid it. Who is the boss? Usually we have the physical or henchman, like as the first boss. There is the mental or mastermind, the yeah, the in-between boss, and usually the global threat that it is usually caused by the mastermind. At least this is like the James James Bond archetype, like you have the henchman, the mastermind, and then the global threat. You can probably change this to, I don't know, you it's not like that you have to have this combination. You can change it a little, but it is just to give a sense of scale of the thread when you arrive at the end of the game. Question for designing bosses. What makes the boss a worthy adversary? What does the boss represent to the player, the hero? What does the hero gain by defeating the villains? What the boss motivation and goals? What's the boss job? Manager. Remember to create an attack pattern that player can memorize. Basically the same that I wrote before. I don't know where. Telegraph an attack. The boss should have the primary attack and movement pattern, an invulnerable attack, a vulnerable state, and opportunities. I mean, same for the giant robot. The primary attack, it can be basically the punches that the huge robot, like, sorry. The primary attack can be the punches of the robot. The movement pattern can be the way that the robot moves to give the punches. An invulnerable attack is like maybe the robot get a power up for 5 seconds and it's impossible to attack it, and you have to survive in that phase. Then that invulnerable state is not anymore there, and the boss starts the vulnerable state where he cannot move because he used too much energy. And in between some of this section, you should have some opportunities for the player to attack. Maybe some opportunities will present themselves during the primary attack and movement patterns, and the player should be able to use those possibilities, those opportunities. Like, for example, in a game that is not an action game, as I keep saying, there will probably a stance break. When you break the stance of an enemy, You can go all in with your characters to try and make and damage the enemy as much as they can. This is an idea basically. Oof. Of course, the player should be able to strike the last blow. You should avoid to just say, okay, the boss is almost dead. Let's start a cinematic. Don't do that. Player play, Players play games to get immersive into them. So cinematics are nice, but you should try to avoid them as much as possible unless you are a AAA game. But the idea is that the players should immerse themselves into the world. If you take away the player agency when they like want to strike the last hit to the boss, you are making something bad. You shouldn't do it basically. Also, the boss should be in harmony with the level or arena that is in, and the level should interact with the boss actions. It's not always like that. You can just have an arena to look nice, but sometimes, and now hear me out, sometimes it's really nice to see the arena being interactable, or for the player or for the boss. Like the boss can destroy platforms, or the player can just, I don't know, destroy stuff to make the ceiling fall to the boss. It's nice to have interactable things. Of course, do it only if you can, if you have the energy and the resources to do it. Oh no, that's it. Thank you for being here. Bye bye. See you tomorrow. No, no, okay. Just joking. I have to open the next one. So let's open the next. To. Where is the next one? Notes. Game design 2. No. So, oh my god. Sorry, I was scared about the little guy. Okay, let's go up, up, up on the top, up, up, up on the top. Dooby dooby doo, bado. Level 12. Level 12, yes. Just give me a second. I'm gonna take a bottle of water because I'm really getting thirsty. I didn't know that talking so much will make me my throat sore. I don't know. So just 5 minutes of break, please. Okay, kids, sit back. The professor has returned. Please, we don't have much time. My lessons are important. I hope you are taking notes because there will be a surprise exams next week. I'm not gonna tell you when. Just be prepared, alright? Good. Let's keep going. I cannot be a professor, but it will be impossible to me. I can. Probably the students will teach me stuff instead. It's most probable. I don't know. So let's go back. Now we have the nuts and bolts of mechanics. When I'm talking about mechanics here, it's most likely that I'm talking about mechanical parts like levels, levers, lever, lever, buttons, levers. I don't know. Uh, in game, the main mechanics are mechanisms, hazard, props, and puzzles. Here, I just m- took a photo from the book because I didn't want to draw all of that. I just needed to have a lot of like platforms to quickly look at. Hope you can understand my laziness here. So, some common mechanisms are moving platforms, opening closing doors, pushable blocks, switches and levers, cranks, slippery floors, conveyor belts, and doors. Yeah, doors are mechanics. Don't ask why there is a strange creature on the right. It, it just appeared. Okay, now yeah, let's say some match 3 mechanics. Matching, dropping, chaining, blocking, exploding, expansions, conveyor belt, objectives, clearing, transformations, walls, and crafted elements. These are some of the mechanics that you can find in match 3 like Candy Crush and others. There are also the racing game, speeding, yeah, speed, handling, upgrades, customization, boost, power-ups. Whereas it's more on the Mario Kart side than Forza games or I don't know, Need for Speed. I totally don't know. I'm not a car guy. I'm gonna say that I'm not a car guy, so I just wrote this up just because. Holy Death Trap. Common and creative hazard. Spiky pits, smashing blocks, blasting flame, exploding barrels, laser guided missile launching turrets, grabbing prisoners' guns that pop out of the. Okay, prison hands. Sorry, not guns. What is guns? Grabbing prisoner hands that pop out from the grates. A suit of armor wielding a chopping axe. Spinning spiked Iron Maidens, a toxic sewers filled with floating coffin platforms. So, yeah, the last few are from the game of Scott Rogers Maximo. Ah, yeah, not dropping rocks on the player's head. If a hazard must kill a player, the player must know that he's gonna die, or at least see the trap when it happens. Not just the player is walking and then suddenly a rock falls from the top. Unless it's for funny and comedy stuff. I can see the vision if you try to make something funny to just, okay, poof on the head of the player. It's fun, I can see it. Damn, I don't have the years for being a teacher. Instant death suck. Remember, if the player dies, it has to be because they didn't pay attention. What I learned from making kids cry. The title is not mine. First of all, the title is from the book. Difficulty promotes pain and loss. Challenge promotes skill and improvement. Now, there is a graph here that maybe it is this. Yeah, let's say that it this one, I think, where basically the higher is the challenge, but if the skill is low, it gives player anxiety. because they cannot control basically what happens. If the challenge is low and the skills of the player is pretty high, it's gonna be just boring. You have to find the sweet spot for the flow. You know the flow, right? Everyone knows about the flow state. The flow state is when you become like a Super Saiyan Ultra Instinct. Checkpoints! I really like this sword, even though there is this strange wiggly here that makes the sword cool for some reason, for me at least. Always face the checkpoint in the direction you want the player to travel. Never place a checkpoint next to a hazard or in a detection zone of the enemy. Players should respawn on the ground, not mid-air. Because, if you see the player just jump in mid-air and then fall, it's like, alright, strange. Place the checkpoint on flat, even ground to the... sorry. Surface. Place the checkpoint on flat surfaces or even ground to avoid any collision problem upon spawning. I'm really a bad professor. Make sure game save data is retained whenever a checkpoint is activated. Well, as you can see, I'm a really bad professor because I didn't correct my notes before showing them to you. So sorry, I'm not a professor. Thank God this is just a recap to see my notes. At the end of the day, it is just myself here, so it is for me, okay, not for you. Ah, it's never for you, it's for me. Sorry. Lock in. Puzzles. Show them the door and then send them after the key. Show them the problem and send them to find the solution, basically. And remember, do not overcomplicate a puzzle. I swear to God, a lot of this stuff, when I said that a lot of the stuff here, I didn't wrote it down because I already knew it. You know from where I took that knowledge? From goddamn D&D and other TTRPGs, basically. You have no idea. Wait, GDR. GDR is the right word. Just to check, because I really hate when I make the wrong a mistake. So GDR. No, not East Germany. What the fuck? GDR games. What the fuck? Game meaning. Ah, no, yeah, sorry, it's Italian for giochi di ruolo. The other one was role-playing game. Table role TRPG. TRPG is the right word? Yeah. Basically, a lot. Sorry for now. I am gonna explain myself. A lot of this stuff you're gonna learn by being a dungeon master or a game master, or maybe just participating at those games. So even if you are a player, you're gonna learn about them and understand why. You have to be pretty. Let's use puzzles as an example. You should not absolutely overcomplicate a puzzle. You should not expect the player to, I don't know, codify the next, I don't know, the door code without having only some ambient, I don't know. Oh, this door will open only if you find the four words no word, and you expect the player to, I don't know, find the words in different level. I don't, it's gonna be pain in the ass. The puzzle should end when you arrive there. Basically, it should be like 2-3 action long. Please don't make the player spend an hour on a fucking puzzle. It's really hard. It's really, how do I say? It's gonna destroy your soul to see the player spend 1 hour to find the solution of the puzzle. So keep puzzles simple. Make the player have fun. Because if they have fun, you are gonna have fun. This, of course, if you are a dungeon master or game master. I think in games like video games, it's the same. You want the players to have fun. Even if you like challenge them, the challenge should be fun and players should want to overcome them. This is the reasons of games, making the player overcome challenges. This is why sometimes I say that games are good for mental health. Of course, it's good for mental health until you just spend all of your days playing games. But if you play games as a hobby from now and then, just, I don't know, 1 hour a day or 4 times a week, I don't know, you play as you want, it's good. It's a way to relax, to make the stress go away, and also to gain some confidence. This is the idea of games that challenges you. Because when you complete a challenge, you are happy. You are happy that you finally completed it. It's an achievement. This is it, basically. Yo, sup? Today we're gonna have the recap. Yeah, because I should have streamed yesterday. The week recap should have been yesterday, but yesterday I was at the pre-release of The Hobbit MTG, so I was playing Magic yesterday. This is why I have to do today the week recap. And I found some cool cards. I really like the Hobbit set. It's really nice. So crazy. And now I have to pay by making the recap live today. That's the idea. Yeah. Also, I'm finding out that I'm not really good as a professor. Side quest. I'm not really good as a professor because my throat is really like sorrow now that I'm talking for 1 hour straight. It's been 1 hour? Yeah, it's been 1 hour. With my friend Ricky. Me and Ricky went to side quest and it was just the two of us. None of our group was there. Also, I didn't win even one match, not even one I won. I lost every single match that I was into. Oh my god. I returned home destroyed morally and physically. Yeah. So now I need to finish this up, so I'm gonna continue. Thanks for the chatting. So, type of puzzles. Usually in game you want this type of puzzles. Remember though, keep them easy. Keep them easy. There are the logical puzzle, the math puzzle, the rigid body physics puzzles. It's basically something where you interact with an object to resolve the puzzle. The liquid physics puzzles. This is basically the mobile game, I don't remember, with the crocodile. Trivia, so you want the player to answer some questions. Maybe multiple choices, find object images and fill in the blanks. Basically, quiz. Traditional puzzles, visual puzzles, and word puzzles. These are the most common one. Next release, you will win all the games with my training. But you're talking about reality fracture when we will go about with reality fracture. Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna use my favorite class, Dimir. With Dimir, I will win every single game. Absolutely. On God. Wallahi. Okay, next are minigames and microgames. Microgames can kinda fit into the minigames category, just saying. A minigame is a simple game created to provide a variety, represent activities, and add value to a product. Another thing that I will add it is that minigames are a wonderful break to the game itself. If you are able to put some minigames to the game itself, it will be awesome because it will provide the gamer with pauses, like doing something different than just fighting, fighting, fighting. So why not? A microgame is a minigame that takes only a few seconds to play, maybe unlocking a chest, having a small, really few seconds of unlocking a chest. This is basically what a microgame is, and this is why I just say that a microgame is a shorter minigame. That's. Example of minigames: lockpicking, hacking electronics, portrait painting, tagging walls, cooking dinner, serving dinner, picking a nose. I don't know. So, also designing a minigame. Remember, keep the controls simple. Just a few buttons, maybe square and X, for example. Keep the gameplay sessions short, no longer than 2 to 3 minutes. Also, I will add, okay, no, sorry, at the end. Ramp the difficulty gently. Basically, the more you are into the real game, also the minigame will start to get challenger. Add something new with each level of minigames. Design the minigames control using one button, touch control, or a very simple control scheme. Allow players to customization if it's possible. This is something that you want to add in those minigames, personalize. Make the victory condition clear to the player. So, yeah, this one. Ah, yeah, the third one was also don't over push the minigame. Like, if you have a minigame that you would like to the player to do, just make it only one time for each level. Don't do like Alice in Madness that had three minigames inside one level that kind of push the time that you need to complete the game. Okay, I know that I'm kind of critical to that game, Alice Return to Madness, but I really love that game. I'm only critical because it's too long, was too long for what it's supposed to play out. That's it. My only critic to that game is it's too long. Moving on, power-ups. Who doesn't like power-ups? I like power-ups. Kinda. I it depends. What does the power-up do? These are a few questions, by the way. What does it look like? Or will it visually stand out in the world? How will it visually stand out in the world? Does it glow or strobe? Does it rotate or bounce? Does it bounce it? Bouncy bounce? Sorry, lost here. Can power-ups be combined? This one is something that I really like about combination and builds. Or can the player have only one active at a time? Can the player reactivate power-up that are unused or discarded? How does it affect the player movement rate or speed, number of the attack, number of type of attacks, health or status? How are its effects communicated to the player visually? Are they aurally, like ears, sound? What is the player's trade-off when using a power-up? Some reduce speed or mobility, or the type of movement the player can do while under the influence of the power-up. If the power-up ability is temporary, what cues will the player know if it's about to expire? Is there a HUD element, a visual cue, or a sound cue, or a music cue? Does it last until the player loses a life? How to collect power-ups? Does the player have to work it to collect it? Does the player have to reach out and actively choose to pick it up? Some player power-ups are automatically drawn toward the player when they get in a certain distance from them. If so, how close the player have to be? How quickly does this happen? And so on. So basically, these are the questions to design power-ups as if they were kind of characters in the world. Some power-ups are kinda defensive, so they can heal up, ability recharge, extra life, invulnerability, invincibility, protective, indirect attack, smart bomb. Also, there are offensive power-ups. Ammo boost, buffs, multi-weapon, weapon upgrade, blah blah blah. There are the movement upgrades, speed charge, access, side change. Access, it will probably mean like being able to reach places that you weren't able to reach before. There are game changers. Changes the state, score, treasure modifier, magnetic, invisibility disguise, comedy power up. In game, you can also find mobile power-ups and anti-power-ups. So power-ups that moves to maybe escape from the player, or maybe power-ups that kinda are not really power-ups, but power downs. They are gonna hurt you basically. Whew! Sorry. Help the player. Dynamic difficulty balancing. Difficulty level adjustment, rubber banding, the game length, and auto-saving. These are ways that you can use to help the players. You can find an example of dynamic difficulty balancing, I think, in Resident Evil 4. If, like, the villagers become too hard for you, usually the game will automatically balance the enemies make to help the player out. Difficulty level adjustment. This is, of course, to adjust the level of the difficulty of the same level. Rubber banding, this is gonna be more useful in Mario Kart, for example. If you are like behind a player, no, behind an NPC or maybe another player, if you are behind with your small cart, you're gonna be able to surpass the other player, maybe, for example. The game length, keep in mind that keep in mind how lengthy you want your game to be. Auto saving to, in case the player dies or something happens to them, to be able to return to a point of safeness. I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's basically that. Never underestimate the greed of the players. Never underestimate the greed of. Okay. Trigger the greed of the Trigger the greed for good. Use the promise of the treasure, an item, to motivate the player to fight enemies. Give the player a personal and customizable space to show off their trophies and rewards. Show the players what they can have in the future. Create guidelines when placing treasure and hidden objects, so the player can expect where to find them. I will add. Stringing collectibles through the level to guide the player. So, another thing that I will add is the psychological factor of seeing the number goes up. Like, our mind, when they see a number going up, is like a new neuron activated. It's basically best than boobas. When you see the number of attack being stronger or the number of money in your wallet being going up, it's gonna be like, whoa, dopamine! I think you can understand. Oh, you should not have a victory without a reward. Expose players to what rewards are available early in the game. In the earliest stages of the game, player increase level pretty fast at the beginning. So basically you have to give a boost of XP at the beginning, so they're gonna really gonna fast have the first rewards, and then they will probably start grinding for the rest of them. Reward players as soon as possible. Ah no, wait a second. Just an example for the second one. Genshin Impact. In the first 3 hours of the game, I think you're gonna level up so fast and have so many rewards that you are gonna like, whoa, thank you Genshin, or thank you Hoyoverse. Sorry, I kind of had to do it. So yeah, that's a good example for what it means to level up fast in the beginning, so the player will hook up and try to grind for the rest of the levels. Reward players as soon as possible, reward often, and provide some variety and surprise to the rewards. A win condition needs to show evidence of success. Whatever the reward is, make it matter to the player. Also, another way to kinda strike the pride or greed of the player is high scores and leaderboards. Just saying. Some players are really want to be the number one, so they will grind a lot. Also, I have the feeling that the same players that are like obsessed with leaderboards are also whales. So people who spend money for power ups, basically powering their game up. Oh my god, I'm losing breath. Oh my god, I'm not used to talk so much. So, other things are achievement that are high scores with personality, basically. Here's some examples. Easiest achievement ever, let's start to play. Not bulletproof, die on an easy level. Street cleaner, hide 5 dead bodies in bale of hay. This one is from Assassin's Creed for sure. Be polite, provide an enemy with a freeze cam shot of your doofing your head. 6 degree of scaffer, play with or against any player who has this achievement. This is from Team Fortress 2. You wasted your life be idle for 5 minutes. Or being a game developer. This is so goddamn funny. Being a developer. You get it, right? You get it. No, you must get it, okay? It's very okay. The treasure have to value the treasure have the value they have based on the economy system you design for this world. So, when you design a economy system, of course, the value of some object will be influenced by how the economy system of your world works. Some shops that you will find around the game world should offer this kind of merch. Some offense merch, defense merch, repairs, replaceable resource, skills, access, vanity, whimsy, information, saves. This is what should usually the merch give to the player. The best rewards are hard won, of course. If it was easy, you will probably will not like have the dopamine rush of winning. Of course, if I'm gonna like I don't know, kickbox, I'm gonna like in a kickbox tournament and all my adversary are 5-year-old kids, I will probably not gonna have fun winning against them. Just an example. I already done one even. Whew. Oh god, I really not used to talk. Bonus section about bonus feature. Some bonus material may include skins, alternative models, alternative modes, new levels, music, commentary, making of videos, model viewers, art viewers, promotional material, trailer, minigames, multiplayer modes, alternative endings, cheat, and user-created content. I will say that some of these can be like included in a separate DLC, and others will like be like stuff that you want your game to have. I kinda doubt that you're gonna add the multiplayer mode to the single player one with a DLC. Usually you will find them both together. Make your players feel like heroes. When the player does something correctly, a success musically will start playing. The hero does a funny reaction or victory animation. There is a particle effect coming off the hero. The companion congratulates the hero. A burst of specially sorry, a burst of special effect tint the screen yellow with starking spars. A success musical tune plays longer than the string. A look at me animation from the hero display the puzzle piece, blah blah blah. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna just reassume. When the player wins, make sure that is known to them with a huge spectacle sometimes, or even something that appears on the screen like God slain or praise lane, like in Bloodborne, for example. You should give at least something to make the player understand that they achieved something, a win. Sorry, oh my god, I cannot speak anymore. Oh my god, my throat. Okay. Ah, this is a fun one. Monetization and marketing. Are you ready to go to the most scammy ways to get money from players? Yes, yes, Captain. I don't hear you. Yes, yes, Captain. Whoa! Oh God, oh God, my throat. Okay, it's really hurting. I'm really not used to like speak more than 1 hour without any pauses. Oh God. So, monetization is a series of strategies employed by the developer to try make player pay additional money past the player initial purchase. I'm not gonna give any opinion on this one, okay? I'm just gonna read it all out loud to you, okay? Maybe at the end of it, I'm just gonna give my opinion, but I already done it when I was speaking about in the previous lives. If you wanna hear it again, just wait until I finish explaining the chapter. Alright? Alright. Method includes method included to gather money from the gamers are premium pricing, known as the retail price, like the one that GTA 6 have, like most AAA game have. Pay to pay, buying resources inside the mobile game, for example. I don't know, Farmville I think has something similar. Product placement, basically add ads in your game in a subtle way, like I don't know, making. Okay, I have an example, like the monster that you are seeing in Dead Stranding first, like the first game, where inside the room there is like a monster can. Yeah. In-game advertising, this is like the opposite, a huge banner ads in your game, not too subtle anymore, because there is like a huge banner with the ad. Virtual goods, obtaining vanity object, like a cooler sword or a skin for a sword. Downloadable content, expansion of the original game or bonus content, and merchandise, t-shirts, stuffies, and stickers and pins. Back to business, baby. Type of games with monetization first. Trial, a free version, is severely limited into the scope, just to give the player a taste of the premium version. Freemium, players can play the game, but some key feature will be missing. Free to play, free games where if you want to avoid the farming and the grinding process, you can just pay. Season Pass offer a bundle of content ranging from new episodes to weapons to exclusive vanity items to small amounts of in-game currency offered for free at a reduced cost. So yeah, basically Fortnite. Fortnite! Why did I get so excited? Membership grant players benefits not available to regular players. I think membership is something that the Kickstarter supporters have when they first buy the game before launch to support the developers. This I think is what it is meant with memberships. Or maybe it's really linked to the season passes. Game with premium or golden edition usually have a DLC, membership, and other in-game purchases. Subscription, as for regular payment, usually month to month, to challenge to the subscription model to make sure you continue to add content. Okay. Here are some things your player might want to pay for. The chance. If players have an opportunity to improve their chances of success, they will pay. Customization, this is one that kinda you see the most. When it's decorating the virtual homes, having an exclusive avatar or wearing a virtual hat, players love to express their identity through their customization. Convenience. Today, players have less time to play daily games, and as they say, time is money, so basically play for, I don't know, speed up some processes. Exclusivity, rare items and experience are prized by many players. Rare items and experiences are prized by many players. Appeal to their vanity and status by creating a limited or expensive items. I will also add the leaderboard, of course. Progress stuck on a level? Want to keep playing? Why not pay to progress? Money! Give me money to pass this level. I don't know. A bargain. You can offer an item cheaply, but be aware you are gonna gain less money. Sometimes, not always. Prestige. If you come riding into a Stormwind city wearing your best purple glowing armor, you are gonna make everyone jealous. I need breath. When I will finish this chapter, I'm gonna make a pause because oh my god, my heart is dying. Whale hunting techniques designed to get players to spend even when they don't want to. Oh my god, I really. No, I said that not gonna give my opinion until the end of this. Currency obfuscation. There should be a difference between the in-game currency, like gold, which is earned by the player, and premium currency, like tickets to get a new gacha character, which is used to provide content using real money, sometimes. Not always, it depends. Bundling. Bundles are a grouping of items offered at a discount or lowered price to incentivize purchase. Ramping. Ramp the game difficulty to the point where the player needs to buy boost to progress, also known as pay to win. Rewarding. Players are tempted to make a purchase when they promise of a reward in the future. Games of chance. Many times players are offered an opportunity to play a game of chance at the end of a round or as a side game to the extend play or earn more in-game currency. There are mini-games like the Wheel of Fortune, slot machine, matching number, cash grab puts, and others. Gacha. The player will buy the capsule without knowing what is inside but having some idea of the type of prizes they can win. Sometimes you get something you desire, other times you might get something you already own. A huge parenthesis here, you know the PT system. This is basically a story of gacha games. The PT system is something just got recently. Older gacha games were like scam on earth. You will probably have a percentage of winning so low that you will probably never win that character or object that you want. Only recently they added the PT system because some dude just spent the entire fortune of his family on a gacha game. Crazy, right? Yeah. Here's some gacha techniques. Spill pulls. The player has a limited number of times they can pull a gacha game from a machine. Near miss. The player almost gets the item they desire and is motivated to do just one more time. PT system. If the player has bought the gacha several times without getting the good price will be awarded to the player to keep them buying. Others. FOMO. Gacha are offered for a limited time, if the player doesn't buy during the time period, they might not even get it. I cannot give my opinion now, I cannot, but I really want to. How long it is, my heart is stopping right now. Loot boxes are virtual items that can be only opened with keys purchased using in-game or real-world currency. Basically the League of Legends boxes or the Overwatch ones. Membership. If a player joins the game's club guild reward program, they will get extra benefits during the game. Usually it is also included in battle passes. Water, oh my god, I cannot talk anymore. I'm having some respect right now for my teachers and professors of my school years to be able to talk for 2 hours straight. Oh my god, how were they able to do it? I don't remember. Oh wait, sometimes they had the silence moment to let the us the students speak and be interrogated. Oh god, my head. Extra slots. Just a second, I have to do some formatting. Alright, extra slots. In games where the player is offered limited rewards slot, the player can pay to unlock the third slot. Unlocks. This method prevents the player from playing without paying a cost. This can be really odious if used incorrectly. Reward removal. Another popular trick is to thread the remove rewards unless the player pays. Placing a big old timer forces the player to decide buy or not buy. Designing it. Plan your monetization strategy. Pick the type of way you want to monetize. Do you want to sell continuous once the player has run out of plays? Do you want to sell custom skins or cards or levels? Can the player speed up the time it takes for something to build on a lock? Choose the right game monetization model. Design a game that needs monetization. Some games don't need monetization, while other benefits or even derive from it. Optimize your game for retention and engagement. Daily rewards, limited time items, season passes, weekly specials, leaderboards, in-game events. Communicate with your players. Push notifications and emails with updates. Ethical ways to make money to monetize. Yeah, sure. I cannot give my opinion now. I need to finish first. Sorry, I cannot give my opinion. All right, all right, all right, sir. Yes, sir. I want to sit. Also after the monetization there is the marketing. I forgot. Ethical way to monetize. Provide alternative ways to earn. Let the player realize there are multiple paths to reach their goal. Warn players that your game costs money to play. Let players know that what they are getting themselves into from the start. If they pay, provide discounts. Use bundling, early player adapters, and the membership to give your players benefit and save them some money. Let the player back out of the pay option. Don't lock players into paying. Let them back out if they get cold feet or make mistakes. If you must give advertisement, make sure that they are relevant to the player. Marketing! Pre-release. What to do in the pre-release phase is the time before your game comes out. Usually 1 year before. You want to start making marketing and build an audience. It helps to have teaser trailers or trailers. Teaser trailers are like just cinematics sometimes, just to give the vibe of what the game will be. Trailers should always include gameplay, guys. Remember this one. Yeah, I didn't wrote this, it's just what I know. But the trailer should always have like 80% or maybe 90% gameplay. What the player wants in a game usually, unfortunately, is not the story first. I mean, sometimes yeah, but 90% of the time the players want the game. They want to know what kind of game it is. The story and the world building are some of the section that will be afterthoughts. A sentence that kinda I know that the players say often is that I've come for the gameplay and I stayed for the story and the lore, basically. Or maybe or maybe again can be also the contrary. I came from the story and I stayed for the gameplay. it can happen and it will be like a blast. Like, oh my god, the story, I was here for the story, but the gameplay is also good, crazy. Or maybe I came from the play for the game, but wow, the story is crazy. Can you see? One doesn't exclude the other. Remember, a lot of stuff in life can be summarized by some stuff doesn't exclude others. They can be true reality together. Just saying. So when someone says, remember to put the gameplay first, it's not always like this. Sometimes you can put also the story if that is your strong point. Make the decide, no, make the decision that will help your game grow, basically. That will help your game to be healthy and a long time type of game. Don't push for a short time game unless you need the money now. Just saying. Question you must be prepared to answer in case people will start asking what your game is about. What is the gameplay? What is the story? How much of this trailer is faked for the video? How much will the game cost? What system is displayable on? Just for example, Ultra Nihil is a turn-based RPG is a turn-based RPG where with a focus on decision making to drive the story where the player wants to. The story is about oh god. No, I'm not gonna spoil. I still have to write the story, so I cannot speak about the story. But in summary, the story is about you and your group traveling the world to basically exterminate the chimeras that are like a new problem that has arisen to the world. So basically, you are a disinfestation group. Like you're gonna go around and say, okay, we cleaned your house from the rats. Just joking, of course, but this is the simpler version. How much of this game fake? Basically, how much did you fake the trailer? You can say no, that the trailer is true, or maybe some things of the trailer are kind of exaggerated to make the game look cooler. How much the game will cost? In the case of Ultra Nihil, I'm thinking about from 10 to 15 euros or dollars, because I'm a solo developer, but I'm also like pushing myself over the limit with this game, so I want some kind of reward for it. But I think I'm gonna push it to the $10 because 15 maybe is a bit too much. I don't know. I mean, some games were like $30. I think Silksong was 30, but because you know, with the success of Hollow Knight, they can afford to do something like this. The title, what you need to stand out is a good title, a begging trailer video, and a great gameplay. These are the three pillars basically for making your game stand out like a first impression. Not stand out in sense of long term like a good story, profound themes. These are the longer one. What you want to achieve in this section is the first impression. Because whether you like it or not, the first impression is important. Is what you will be perceived by people just by looking at, basically. Tips to make a banger trailer. Always be moving. The character in the game should always be moving. Whether it's running, sneaking, fighting, driving, whatever. Cut on the action. This means that when you make an edit, edit near or around the action. Show the character. Many videos just show the back of the character as they run through the game world. But people like looking at faces. If you can rotate the camera around and show the front and the back of the character, will be awesome. Quality sound. Nothing say amateur production more than poor sound quality, especially when it comes to narration. Remember, you still need to make post-release publicity. Like after you publicize the game or release the game, remember that you still need to marketize it. And also you need to submit your game to a contest or a festival like Amaze, the DevGame, Digital Dragons, and so on and so forth. Just keep in mind, I also add, that some of these contests you have to pay an initial fee to participate, because even though it's a contest, it's also like a free publicity for your game. I don't know if you can understand, because you know it's to let your game be like a winner, or I don't know, but it also helps even if you don't win. It is also a good strategy to marketize the game. Oh my god, I can breathe. Sorry, oh god, I can breathe now. Just give me 5 seconds. Oh my god. So, apart from the marketing, what do I think of the monetization model? Hear me out. I don't like it. Before being a game developer, I am a gamer. I played game for almost all my life. I think I spend more time inside my home playing games than outside playing football. And I don't, of course, it's not a good thing, but I'm an introvert, so you know, you grow whatever you want, I guess. I don't know. But what I can say, because of course I'm also a gamer before being a game developer, is that monetization model are parasites. Oh my god, it is parasitical. From the day they started showing up, the model of just having a game published, you earn the money that you need to make the next game and pay your animator, your programmers, disappeared. God fucking damn it! Now we are like have the same fucking games over and over, like, and they started to, how do I say, like, I don't know, to stagnate, and it's awful. Most of the strategy here, of course, he knew about them because he works in the AAA industry, but I don't like them. The only strategy that I like, strategy, the only thing that I like about monetization are the DLC and merchandise. These are the thing that kinda give the player something organically. Like a DLC can expand of the game, can give new experience to the player, or bonus content like how the game was made, what is the art, the character design, the level design, the environment design, the light design. These are bonus content, something that kinda gives the player something more about their favorite media. Merchandise is also that, but physical, that is even better, guys. Having merchandise is even better because you can have something about your favorite game. I don't know if you can follow me on this one, but these show last are no, I don't know if ethical, but yeah, I think for me are the kind of ethical way to have money. Virtual good for vanity. Come on, man. Pride is a sin for a reason. In game advertising, I don't know, trying to milk the cow is something that I don't like. You should feed the cow. And a way to feed the cow is with DLCs and merchandise. You can feed your IP with these ones. The cow will grow healthy. Do not milk the cow dry with the first ones. And with this comment, I will stop. This is my stance on it, okay? I'm favorable to DLC and merchandise because they give something more to the player. But the first ones are just scammy tactics to have more. And now, okay, if the Ultra Nihil fails, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna make it a gacha game. So everything that I said until now will be false. Pay. So remember to help making Ultra Nihil a success, or it will become a gacha game. And your favorite character will have a huge badonkas and a huge slong, and will be like fanboys. I don't know. I will ruin the character on purpose. So remember to help me make Ultra Nihil a cool game, okay? I don't want to make live service. I want to make a lot of games. I want to earn what I need to survive for the next game. I don't want to become dirty rich. I want to make what I need to survive, alright? This is the idea. If it fails, I'm gonna make live service and it will be like hell for me and hell for you. So we need to help each other, right? With this one, I'm just gonna take a 10-minute pause to catch breath because we still have 3 chapters. Yes, 3 chapters to go, so please have some mercy. I'm gonna take 10 minutes of pause. See you later, students. Ah, also, don't go home. The lesson is not over. Don't try to go home. Be around, alright? See you later. I'm back. I still have to gather some more energy, but we can continue now for a little. The next one are cutscenes. A cutscene is an animated or live-action sequence used to advance the story, create spectacle, provide atmosphere, dialogue, and character development, and reveal clues that players would otherwise miss during gameplay. It makes sense. Maybe cutscenes are very useful for some key points to at least have the surface story revealed. I think it makes sense. There are different type of cutscenes. We have the pre-rendered cutscenes that can help with the current examples. You can create more emotion in a cutscene because you have direct control over all the elements. Collision in games just don't look as bombastic as they do in a pre-rendered movie. It's often better to take control away from the player so they can swept up into the story or blown away by the spectacle. Explosions look awesome if they are pre-rendered. A cut above. Types of cutscenes. There is the full motion video that are basically live action. Animated cutscene, a full motion animation basically. The Flash animated sequence are created in Adobe Flash and usually are still image, like in those graphic novels. Just a second. Basically, what I mean with Flash animation is basically still animation, but that slightly moved to give a sense of living. I mean, I don't know if you know about the movies that have those comic sequence where you see the comic moving like crazy stuff, but they are still basically. There is the pre-rendered cutscene, the in-game cinematic or puppet show, and scripted events. I still need to find the difference between the pre-rendered cutscene and the in-game cinematic. Maybe the pre-rendered cutscene is something that was already recorded before and just replayed as a video, and maybe the in-game cinematic is something that happens during the cinematic where you can see maybe, I don't know, the costume of your character or other interactive stuff before that are shown in the cutscene. And scripted events are cutscenes that activates when something happens, like for example, having your events activate only when the player character is actually looking at or facing the scripted event, building your level geometry to frame the scene so the player can clearly view have a clear view of the action. Move the camera around the environment to give players an idea of its layout and space. If you have a mobile camera, be sure to start your event from the paw of the player's paw of the position. Maybe, I don't know. These are more like what do I say? Cinematic advice. I don't know how much of these are true. Write a screenplay. Yeah, step 1. Outline your story. If you don't know the beginning, the middle, and the end of your story, you won't know what the heck you're writing. Break down your story scene by scene to determine which characters are in each scene and what location they are placed in. This information is going to be important for staging as well as asset creation purpose. Determine which scene your story are going to be cutscenes versus being told through gameplay. But remember, it's always better to have the player do than watch. Yeah, this is basically what I was saying before, but yeah. Sorry, I just saw what I've drawn yesterday. No. Funny shit ever. 4. Write your scene and dialogue. Determine what needs to happen and what needs to be said. Also keep it short. Write your script in an official screenplay format. I'm not gonna read the down below text, but you can use it too if you want. I think the int/ext, it means about the location, if it was internal or external. Just as I don't know if it's true, but in the book it says nothing about it, so it's just intuition. Read your dialogue. Dialogue often sounds great in your head. When you written down, oh sorry, it sounds good in your head. When you write it down, but it sounds and oh my god, my dyslexia. Dialogue often sounds great in your hand when you write it down, but sounds strange or clunky when you read it aloud. I am the Lord of Darkness. Sorry, I was just trying, but yeah, I think it's true because some of the dialogue, usually when you speak with someone, you will not spend 300 words to explain something. Usually, you will just be really brief because dialogue is like a game of ping pong. You have the initiation, there is the response, there is the core response, there is the response again. It's basically a game of ping pong. Keep it brief because this is how dialogue works, and keep it entertaining and real. This is why he advised to kinda tell, like, read out loud your dialogue to see if it works. Like, yo man, do you have some chips? Chips? Why do you need chips? I'm hungry. Why are you asking? Of course, because I'm hungry. Ah, no, sorry, I was just, I don't know what the kind of chips you were talking about, if it was like electronics or food. Ah, okay, I guess. This is a dumb interaction, but this is basically how dialogue works. It is sometimes dumb. You have to choose maybe how much real the dialogue must be or how much profound it is. Just remember that keep it brief. Keep it brief, or because you want it to make sound like a realistic dialogue, or keep it brief because you want to give the sentence the heaviness that it needs. Like, make the sentence count. This is the idea. Let it simmer for a day or two. Hopefully, you will get new ideas or think of a better way to write scenes and snapper dialogue. This is true, but it depends. If you are in a crunch time, like you need to crunch this, you will probably overlook the fact that you need some days to see if the dialogue was smart or not. Prepare your script for voice actors using spreadsheet program like Microsoft Excel. I'm too poor for voice actors. I'm too poor for them. You are gonna receive the Animal Crossing dialogue. Okay, I don't have the money for voice actors, so you're probably gonna receive the Animal Crossing. Or even worse, you're not gonna receive anything at all. I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm starting to losing it because I'm getting tired to reading and explaining. Oh, the playtest! Okay. This is gonna be a fun one because I didn't understand it first, but after reading it a few times, I started to understand what stock flow dependencies and feedback flow are. In a video game, a system is composed by the stock, that is something that can be counted, example health bar. A flow is a process that impacts the value of the stock, like utilizing a medikit. Dependency are factors that affect the rate of flow, like time before the next medikit appear. And feedback loop is something that makes you repeat the loop, like taking damage. And you basically will have more than one system in the game. The more system you have, the probably gameplayer, the most gamey your game will be basically. Whew! Bugs. Something to look out for bugs. To avoid bugs. Level geometry. Need to be positioned in the right place. That it helps guide the player through the level. Look appealing and not have bugs, such as gaps where the player can drop through the world. Yeah, so don't leave a blank spot where the player just can kill themselves and fall down. I don't know. Combat system need to have fast animation that respond quickly to the player's command. An attack needs to just enough initial damage not to immediately kill an enemy, but keep it alive just long enough to be a challenge. The enemy needs an animation or an effect to indicate that the damage was taken. The player needs to have enough health to survive an encounter with the enemies and not die immediately, unless you're from software. Play the thing. If you're a game designer, tips basically you need to play the thing because sometimes there are some individuals who don't even play their own games. Play with the knobs. Sometimes to have an idea of parameters, you need to push them to the limit. Like, what if a player plays like they have the maximum experience, like maximum damage and all of that? Also, what happens when the player plays with the minimum damage? Just to give an idea. Play the game backwards. Sometimes you just need to rotate your head and try to go from the finish point to the starting point to see if everything looks good and it's not like buggy or anything. Play like an idiot. Basically, you just want to, okay, I'm just gonna smash to this wall 15 times to see if something happens, or like rotate and go through the level 5 times to see if something happens, or just as a bug finding method in case you don't have playtesters. Play all the versions. This is more about the PlayStation version, the PC version, the Switch version. Goals you might want to test. Can the player find their way around the level? Can they find the exit? Can the player solve the puzzles? Are they too hard, too easy? Is the combat too hard, too easy? Can the player determine what the story of the game is? And this one is the most important to me, goddamn. I really want the story to be like a boom to the player in the face. Or maybe not, I still have to see. Can the player determine what the objectives are? Can the player understand the UI and successfully navigate to the gaming interface? And this was the play the thing chapter. Now the last one, pinching the game design and final tips. Pinching and game design final tips, sorry. Whoa! Slide for the presentation of the pitch. Slide 1. Title of the screen with the logo. Slide 2. The game outline. Slide 3. The gameplay example. Slide 4. How your game will be awesome and what makes it different. Slide 5. Competitive products, or maybe I will add games that you are inspired by to give an idea what the player are going into. Slide 6. Some information about yourself and your team, including contact information. Remember to keep it short, readable and full of concept art. Also choose the right tone of the pitch. No cartoon art for a bloody hack and slash game with horror elements. This one hurts me. Gamers care about gameplay. Keep the world building for yourself, just for the pitching of the game. This is just for the pinching. For the game you can just go overboard with world building. But yeah, gamers care about gameplay. This is why. Something that I want to add is that respect the medium that you are working with. Something that even I had to understand is when you make a game, respect that it is a game. If you wanted to make like a world building and don't like push too much the world building. If you wanted to do so, you just needed to write a book. That's the idea. Respect the medium that you are working with. Markets for game developer. There is the App Store, the digital distribution, some crowdfunding, web hosting, and traditional publisher. But remember, video games are made by people. With this part, it's basically what I need to account for when I will have a team, basically. Don't overpromise content and bite off more than the team can chew. Plan ahead, prepare the team illness and vacations, prepare hardware failure, burnouts, and other technical issues. Try to lock down design and content as soon as possible. Player will always find a way to break the game, so make sure the sure so make sure to play the game the way they would. So if you are gonna play test, play like a gamer to find if there are secrets or stuff like that. If you are cheating, no, if you are creating an international version of a game, make sure you account for sensible cultural difference. Iterate your game design in all stages of production, so you will probably change a lot the game design. Don't be afraid to touch it. You will probably touch it and make it better or make it worse. It also happens. Get feedback and use focus groups. Focus groups are like your niche, or maybe a group of people that are interested in your game and let them play it. This one was a personal one. Lock in your game design choices, but be ready to draw it away, draw it out if it doesn't work. So you have to have some pillars for your game design, but you have to accept that sometimes those pillars are not strong enough. If they are not strong enough, in that case, yes, throw away the project. But in case they are strong, don't shape them further. Like don't shape them further. There can be some oh sorry. There can be some stuff that can make your game better, but don't change the pillars. The pillars are the pillars. Don't change them, okay? Lock them up and push them until the end of the game. Oh, this one is one of the things that I had to design. Vertical slice or horizontal layer. Vertical slice act as a demo to be shown to the publisher and template for the rest of the game. A vertical slice is your level or sequence of a level or sequence of the game that has been designed, built, and polished to the highest level of playability possible. Basically, you select a level, polish like it was like 90% complete, like 90% of your game will look like that level, and then use it as a demo. The other one is the horizontal layer. The team members bring up all the elements of the game from beginning to end at the same time in gray box formats. When your team is creating game in gray box levels, geometry is roughly built and characterization assets are mostly placeholder. What does this mean? The first one is kind of crazy useful in case of marketing because you have a ready for demo. Like you have the demo, the player will know what they will expect to, and so you will basically already build a community around your game. But there are some problems though. If you do this, you're kinda locked to have all of the rest of the game the same, or you gotta build some expectation, I wanted to say, sorry. Also, another problem is that if you have the first level super polished, it will probably take you another year or two to finish the rest of the game. And when you give something to the player and make them wait so long, if you're not GTA 6, you cannot do something like that. Just saying, because your players will be like forgetting about your game at some point. In the horizontal layer, basically your team will build up the game slowly in every section. Like first, everyone is going to the prototype phase. You're gonna try animation, you're gonna make everything gray, you're gonna look ugly. And you're gonna, with every step, polish it a little. I don't know if you get it. And I think this is what I'm gonna do because it's also useful for a solo game developer. Because in the first one, it's useful if you have a team to kind of finish as early as possible the game. But if you are alone, it's better to kind of fly low until you have something to show up for. This is the idea. And these are the game designer tasks that I also consider to be like the game director task. Thinking up and write down the basic idea of the game. Create pitch presentation and pitch the game to at an industry event or in a meeting. Collaborate on the game's design and review other designers' work. Develop and write the game story. Develop and design the character actions. Develop and design levels, mechanic, enemies. Discuss the game design with fellow team members. Draw levels map and create gray boxes version of them in game in Engie. Playtest the game. Oh my god, I'm dying. Playtest the in-game levels and gameplay. Script mechanics and the camera in levels. Write dialogues and direct voice actors. Write marketing write marketing copy for the website, press release, or back of packaging. A marketing copy, yeah, a marketing strategy for right market. I don't know, but yeah, this was everything that those 500 pages of book taught me. Oh my god, my heart is pumping. Oh, okay, I'm not used to talk so much, but yeah. So, I cannot believe it. I didn't show you anything. I am so sorry. Oh my god. I am so sorry. You didn't see anything. I'm gonna really slowly like show you what I was reading. Oh my god, I'm a failure. So yeah. I cannot believe that you didn't see anything because I'm dumb. Oh my god. Ah, this is getting really hard. Sorry, class. So, we finished the book. We finished the notes. I'm gonna print them because I really want them near me when I write the game design document. But before doing that, I'm doing something else. I'm gonna write from next week, like I have only 1 week of time to write the pre-game story and some characters, at least the main ones, okay? With their motivation and story. I have only 1 week to do that because after that I will disappear for a month because I need money, so I need a job and I gonna work as a mover. I will see, okay? I will see how it will turn out. So we have another checkpoint being the notes. Yeah, P. I need another checkpoint to that it will probably be the game pre-game story, okay? Yeah. We will see. From next week, starting from tomorrow, I will start streaming again with the blur effect on the screen because I will start writing the pre-game story. And we will see if we will be able to make it. And we'll see also what will happen when I will return from the work period. I don't know if I will work every day. I really hope yes and no. It depends. The thing that kind of scares me the most is that if I will remember anything when I will come back from the work period, because it will be like 1 month. I really hope that I will remember something, because if you like ask about will you won't it like be better if you stream in the evening when you will return from work? And to that I will answer no, because I will probably be tired, like too tired. Mover as a job is really tiring. It doesn't matter if you have the strength of a bodybuilder or a powerlifter. Being a mover is really tiring. I already worked as a mover, and now I have to do it again. So yeah, we will see. Okay, guys. We will see tomorrow. Thank you for attending this recap lesson. Sorry for the second part. I didn't know I wasn't showing anything. This is the problem with not having anyone attending the class. But yeah, thank you for watching, and we will see each other tomorrow. I will also write a post about how awesome was to finish all of these checkpoints or milestones because I want to, uh, I don't know, sounding cool. I don't know. But yeah, I will. We see each other tomorrow, guys. Thank you for being here. I'm really tired. My throat is sore, so I'm gonna finish here. Thank you. See you tomorrow, guys. Bye bye. Bye bye, students. Bye bye.